Welcome
Hello.
to another episode.
Oh, I hadn't tested the audio yet. It's working.
Can you hear everything good?
Hey, it is working. I'm back up in it. I'm going to try to stay on the mic.
Present.
On the mic. Well, I don't know if I'll stay present. You know, I tend to wander. But
shout out to all our new subscribers. Thank you for joining.
Willkommen.
Like, subscribe.
Welcome.
This episode is about insurrection, rioting, protest. We are a nation of mad motherfuckers, and we're burning shit down to the ground. I don't know whether to be mad or happy about it.
So already, I need to check you a little bit. All right. So protesting and burning shit to the ground is two different things.
Yes, but it's all part of the same.
No, you said protesting. You made it seem like it's the same thing. It's not the same thing.
It's not, but it's all part.
It's a small element of a positive, peaceful thing.
Okay.
Rioting is not there. There are no giant riots happening.
What do you mean there's not giant riots happening?
People are burning the shit out of stuff, right?
Okay.
A small percentage of people are burning the shit out of some stuff.
And they're in the group of protesters.
No. They are in the same area, taking advantage.
They showed up there
as opportunity.
Right.
Opportunists.
Are protesters opportunists?
No.
Yes.
Protesters push their agenda.
That's their opportunity to post their agenda.
No, they make opportunity like it's there, so I do it. But no, they do it. They make it. They may move it forward.
They're still opportunists. Maybe they're not throwing bricks through the Gucci store. But
and now when they have their clout,
but
then they do their opportunity. Then they do what they need to do.
Everybody is obviously. Look, before I say this, you know what side I'm Black Lives Matter to the death. If you don't understand that it's time for us as a nation to stand up, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, whatever, injustice is happening, and we have to stand up to that. Saying that, okay. Aside from that, I have to be the devil's advocate. There's always a side to choose, okay? Or you can be right down the middle. But the point is you're still choosing something. When you show up to a protest, it's your ideals that you're trying to promote, and this is an opportunity to hear your voice.
Okay.
Right or wrong, depending on what side you stand on, you're there to push your agenda.
Right.
That's the same thing as throwing a brick through a wall.
No, it's not.
Through a window.
No, it's not.
At a Gucci store.
No, it's not. It's not even close to the same thing.
Well, no, it's not the same thing in the fact of the action, but it's rooted in the same cause.
No, because most of the motherfuckers throwing shit through windows right now today, right? The shit that we're talking about right now, I'm not talking about civil rights or anything like that. I'm talking about like today, right? When the protests, I believe, are for civil rights. But the looting at the vitamin shop in Tampa is not about being upset with the system.
Looting at the jewelry store, looting at the champs. Let's burn the champs to the ground.
They're just trying to steal shit, man.
Yes.
People that are doing right are down the street and telling them to be fucking and stop. Like I was watching the Twitter of the Orlando protest, and as soon as somebody threw a water bottle, you hear somebody say, "Stupid motherfucker, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
Right away.
That's still your opinion.
Because that's how people, huh?
Still your opinion.
What?
It's you getting mad at the motherfucker burning down the champ store is your opinion. That's how you choose to look at it. You're saying that that's a negative thing, but this family has been on quarantine for 2 months, okay?
No, there's barely anybody that thinks like that that's doing that.
Check.
They're coming peacefully. Those people are coming peacefully.
You think rich people are in there looting?
Bro, those people are coming. The people you're just talking about are coming peacefully. They're not throwing shit. The people that are throwing shit are people who want to just like make a mess and fucking like watch the world burn.
Because these
and
are
laugh about it.
These are pissed off.
Not because they're pissed off. The pissed off people are doing what they need to do the correct way.
Nah.
The way people frame it, the pissed off people are burning shit down. Nah. They're over here acting right.
There is no right in this.
There is. There is
no right.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. We need to stop being fucking abused. You got to stop being pushed up on. You got to stop being occupied. All of that shit. But the people that feel like that are going through the proper channels And that's the reason it's taken so long to get where we're at right now, because they're going through the proper channels.
The proper channels?
The proper channels, filling out the fucking paperwork, submitting the right form, and all of that shit.
That's not what's changing shit.
Slowly changing shit by playing the game as the game is put in front of you. And then now we're trying to change the game.
What's the difference? What's the difference between Aubrey? What's the gentleman that got murdered in Atlanta?
Talking about Aubrey?
Yeah. What's the difference? How come we didn't riot when that man was shot running down?
There wasn't enough video.
So because of the video, because we got to see the knee on the back of the neck.
For the length of time that we saw it.
I think it's been a perfect storm. I think we as a people.
And we're all at home mad about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a perfect storm. I mean, I'm happy that it happened the way it happened, because no life should be taken. And I guess, I try not to look at like what life is more valuable or more important to go riot for. So regardless that it was George Floyd, it could have been any person at that level down with the knee on the back of the neck. That's a question I want to ask you. If he wasn't black, you think we'd be rioting?
No.
You don't think so? It wouldn't have got
and
the
again,
attention.
Protesting, not rioting.
Okay, protesting, getting together. When I guess I'm saying that wrong.
No, when you frame it as rioting, dog, it plays into the narrative that what's happening is wrong.
Yeah.
Nah, it's not. It's needed. It's needed. And the fact that some of it's a bandwagon thing, a good portion of it's a bandwagon thing, and a covering your ass thing, and a making good with the fucking populist thing. Fuck it, man. Well, I'll take it. I
think
it's been needed to happen, bro.
I think that you're absolutely right. It's been needed to happen. But I think that taking it to Rodeo Drive, breaking into those major stores, you know what?
Again, that's separate. That's opportunistic. That's separate from the protest and the vision and all that negative shit that happens because of it. It's going to happen during every single. It happens when motherfuckers win championships. They burn shit to the ground. Has nothing to do with the protest and the movement. So when you associate the two, it makes no sense.
Why do we remember?
Just because it happens the same day.
Okay, but the rioting is just as important as the protest, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay, so it is.
For sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Back then, for sure. Now, I think it's just separate. I think people are just doing it, at least in Orlando, from what I've seen. So maybe let me back that up to Orlando.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because I personally am not like an activist.
Right.
I'm not like I've been talking about stuff like this and basically pissing and moaning about stuff like this for a decade, I would say.
Yeah, but not everybody's an activist. Everybody's who you are.
I'm just a regular guy who recognizes things, and then usually at the end of my conversations, it's like, but what are you going to do? I got to pay my taxes. I got to pay my blah, 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 my car payment. I got this, I got that. I just, I got a kid or whatever, right? So I don't know anything outside of what I've seen in a movie or what I've read on the internet or in a book or some secondhand accounting that my grandfather told me or something like that. You know what I mean? So I guess when I'm talking about like the looters, I can't really speak too much for what happened in Tampa when they burned down gas stations and fucking whatever, or out in Denver when they burned down the malls. But I'm talking about physically what I saw and witnessed through Twitter of the live stream. I don't know why the actual Twitter was just motherfuckers clout chasing and being dumb. Kids just throwing water bottles and rocks.
I seen that too, but
they're met with aggression too. On top of that, you show up in like a football outfit with fucking long range acoustic weapons and fucking military style gear. The first night we were out there, we actually weren't out there tonight, but the first day the night portion of that when they were trying to block off 408, and they started hitting people with the gas or the, hitting them with the bike things. I'm thinking you could handle that different. Yes, they're holding up traffic. Yes, it's not safe. You could maybe block off the road a little further back. Why does it go straight to like forceful removal? I know it's illegal. I'm not saying that what they're doing is legal, but I mean it's a protest, and they're protesting something that's.
Before we get to there, though, I just want to make this point. I think this is the first protest riot, however you want to label it, that we've seen people take it to places other than these minority communities. Like, the reason I'm saying this is a lot of the previous protests and riots, those insurrections and those gatherings always end up being in the place where it happened or in like impoverished neighborhoods. And then so now we're going to burn down these neighborhoods that automatically don't have resources. It's going to be harder to build them up. I think for the first time to see, and I know this is outside Florida.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're going to
I don't know
talk
if that's
about,
true.
Well, it is, because I'll tell you what.
I don't know if there hasn't been
outside of Florida,
mm-hmm.
and I know this is a Florida podcast, but I just want to make a point. The first time I've ever seen anybody riot in a place like Rodeo Drive has been during this insurrection or this riot, this protest, this gathering. It's never happened before where you see places, even in New York. I agree with you. Orlando, it's like we live kind of like in a fairy tale type of place. We have poor neighborhoods. There's crazy neighborhoods, murders happen, and everything.
For sure.
But it's not as crazy as a place like maybe LA or New York or Chicago,
right,
where you've seen the rioters or the protests take it to the neighborhoods of privilege, okay? The places where people feel safe. You know, the places you think, oh, people are not going to go. And they took it to that level. And because of that, it's making me feel like there's something different here. You know, yes, I don't agree with the rioters. I understand that there's a lot of like idiot kids that are just doing it for the look or for whatever.
Small percentage, not a lot. But I would think.
But taking it to those places,
and experts tend to agree with that, I think.
Right. And I agree.
They are, whoever they are.
But taking it to those places is opening up the idea of, holy shit, there really is no borders to where we can take this. You know what I mean? Right. And I think in some small ways, that's actually evolving us to show that we do have this power. So it's a negative thing that's going on, but it's a powerful in the sense of like, I'm not going to shit where I live. I'm taking it everywhere. And that's forcing, I think, a lot of people, even like, you know, for the first time I've seen a lot of these cops kneel down. I don't know if that's like a show for the camera or if that's, and I'm sure a lot of it's in the middle, right? A lot of them are doing it because they feel that way.
At this point, I don't really.
Does it feel genuine?
At this point, it's like past the point of if it's happening now, it just doesn't feel genuine just because it's everybody's doing it. But so I guess with the conversation we were having before, I'll take it. Fuck it.
Because it hasn't happened like that.
I'll just take it.
Or maybe it's the media.
I'll take notes and I'll take it.
Maybe another thing about it's like the way the media has been, like they're doing the old regular shit, like the thug shit, right? The labels for the thugs, the label of rioters, you know. And I agree with you when you go down to like KC or whatever, and they're flipping over cars, they don't call that shit rioting. They call that shit wilding out. You know what I mean?
They won the championship.
So whatever, these kids are, you know. And then when you see a whole bunch of people that get together for like Black Lives Matter, then it's like thugs and all these things. But I think that the media this time around made an effort to even separate a lot of those titles and like what you're saying, make it obvious like, hey, there's protesters here and then there's crazy ass people trying to riot. And even within the rioters, like, have you been seeing those like I seen this on a news article and I also seen this on Twitter where they were finding mysterious like piles of bricks.
Yeah, the bricks. They found one in Orlando, pile of bricks. So That thing,
But
right?
it's being talked about more.
It's being talked about.
It's not being
and they saw the
brushed
cops
under the rug.
unloading bricks or something at some point.
It's all over the
What
place.
I find weird is how a lot of that shit is always, there's always like a debate around it. There's always an argument. Like you can always have an argument against it. And it's, I don't know if that's part
Not now,
of
though.
if that's part of like the game where you can like, I just don't understand how any of that gets left open for interpretation like that. You know what I mean?
Well, before, because it wasn't being talked about on a. We always talk about this like
Twitter,
popular
man.
culture.
It's fucking Twitter.
But even on Twitter, you're seeing the mainstream media outlets talk about it.
Well, because at this
Not
point,
as
Twitter's
conspiracy though.
at this point, the mainstream media it includes social media as real media at this point,
Right.
because they've decided to pivot a little bit and get more into that space and make, because they've recognized that there's a whole bunch of eyeballs using the internet. Before it was like, oh, it's just the internet audience. There's a bunch of like loonies and conspiracy theorists on the internet, and then you move into an age when media actually agrees with the fact that these conspiracy theorists and loonies were regular everyday people that spent money. So now they're on Twitter, but not they don't own Twitter like that. People own Twitter. So that's why when you get on, that's why when you go to assassinate Osama bin Laden, some dude on Twitter tweets about the helicopters flying overhead moments before the motherfucker gets got. The shit happened, like he put it on the air right before it happened because of this amazing technology. And that's how we can go into Twitter, go into the search bar
and find hashtag
now. Orlando protest, and then just keep doing this, and it says 1 minute, 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago, this is what's happening. You could just map out a whole thing, and
that's is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a great thing. I think having that access right now, the way the world is, I think eventually, I don't know if it's hundreds of years or 50 years or whatever, when everybody's like, yo, that was crazy back then. Yeah. Remember that time they used to own people and beat the shit out of them, and then for a while subjugated them and worse shit? That's crazy. But you know what's crazier? For like 50 years after that, we use this social media that every day we looked at it, it made us feel worse and more desensitized and whatever other problems social media has
and now
with it.
The government knows exactly who you are, profiled you, understands where you were.
Your usage of things.
I read an article where like a lot of because they were also saying there was a lot of cops around the looting, and they were just letting it go on. Like they would see a store get ransacked, and they were saying, oh, that's fine. What we're going to do is ping all the cell phones in the area, and if your cell phone was in that store during the looting, guess what? You got to charge now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like crazy different things that are going on.
Theories,
technology.
I don't
and stuff
I don't know. I don't know how they could justify that. I think it's a pretty easy argument to.
Well, I'm going to play a story after I play the intro where there's this so-called gangbanger from Orlando that was saying, oh, we should riot, which I think it's messed up. You shouldn't be posting on your Instagram. But
That's illegal, right?
Well, there's
inciting a riot?
Well, if you are just posting on your Instagram, isn't it freedom of speech? Like if you're actually organizing the riot and then you bring people out to the riot, then I guess that would be inciting a riot. But if you just
I'm not a lawyer.
Well, the man got arrested. That's what I was.
For what he posted?
Just for what he posted.
I mean, again, I think we're at an age where we understand the power of social media. Like, if you don't recognize that power, I think it's at your demise, I guess, for lack of a better word. Like, you're going to fuck up. Your life's going to be fucked up if you continue to act like this shit isn't powerful. It's powerful. It's so powerful that they try to pass legislation to control that shit.
Well, now they're going to start. Well, they are arresting you for what you post.
For what you post, for where, what you search, I guess. But
yeah, well, that'd be crazy if they can figure that out and use that. I mean, I guess
they can figure it out.
Well, what I'm saying is they can't do it while you're doing it. You have to commit the crime, and then they do the investigation, backlog your searches, and use that. Right. It's not like let me search, I want to riot, and then the minute you search that, you get arrested. See what I'm saying? You have to do the act, and then they use it as evidence.
You just spoke what's probably going to happen inside of 20 years.
That's a scary thing.
Somebody at least show up at your door and ask you a question about it.
Why you search that?
What's your curious? And some unarmed, very nice person shows up, not like a cop, like a cop. I think in the future when we fucking fix the system that we're in, it won't be like a cop. It'll be like a social worker, for lack of a better word, that shows up and they're like, hey.
They're mad complacent. They're mad.
How's everything going with you today?
Political.
Well, we noticed you searched how to riot. Is everything okay with you? Are you feeling okay with the world? Blah, blah. And guess what? That's the way it should be.
Think so?
Sure. If we're going to use that, if you're going to do that, if you're going to be in my life, send me something. Send me somebody that can speak to me about my problems if I have a problem, or if I'm just bullshitting for a movie, searching for a movie, or don't search my shit at all. I feel like you don't need to be watching me at all. But if that's
where I'm at,
yeah, no, that's where I'm at totally too. I'm saying if that's what we're doing, this is the world we're living in where you got to search my shit. Don't send me no fucking knucklehead with a bulletproof vest and a gun to ask me questions. Don't
send me nobody, but I get what you're saying. But
send me a nice lady. No, you know why that helps? Because that nice lady may be able to get me some help if I am upset, if I am distressed. Because everybody that searches that ain't like some regular ass person. Some people are chemically imbalanced and they want to take a gun.
Yeah.
A fucking M16 down the street and blow somebody's head off.
Yeah.
So they're searching how to blah, blah, blah. So now here comes, Jeffrey, and Jeffrey's like, hey, Tom, what's up, bud? How's your day going? Oh, blah, blah, blah. My wife had cancer. My kid won't talk to me because I'm super racist. Blah, 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 blah. And I need,
My kid won't talk to me because I'm super racist.
So now I want to go blow up these Mexicans for
Did
my...
Did you see that video? There's a little white
girl going in.
Arguing with her parents about statistics.
Going the fuck in.
That's the thing that wouldn't happen without having Google on your phone.
Yeah, if you don't have ready access to information and
to question your parents about shit.
Well, okay, I'll a little pushback on that.
When your kids start showing up with statistics and shutting you down like a debate,
I mean,
you are stupid, old man.
In certain worlds, kids are just gonna push back on everything because it's allowed. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be about super statistics.
Yeah,
It could be about
when your kid becomes a supreme debater and comes through with them facts, and you just sitting there with go to your room.
Right? You don't know what to do. Oh, it was so awesome. It was so awesome. She put them on blast. Didn't she have braces too? I think the braces added to it. I think she had braces. I can't.
She had a great argument about the statistics.
Well, they're there. There's what I was talking to you about earlier too is like understanding the statistics is difficult for me necessarily. So I gotta like really sit there and break them down, and it helps for me to put it at like a grand scale with all like the historical context. People don't usually take historical context into account or whatever with shit like that. So that kind of like it makes things harder. But the more you kind of ingest it, the more you kind of think about why you would argue against something, right? Even if you don't agree with it, why be upset that people are protesting for equality? Does that make sense? So even if you say you're not equal, right? Then why would you worry about it? Like, I just want to be equal. Well, who says you're not equal? Well, this says I'm not equal. Okay. And just move on with your day, But like to take time out and like be nasty and like talk about little different shit. It really it's telling, man. It really is telling. It says a lot about a lot of people. And then I think when people do it when it's not, they didn't do it before, right? And now they're doing it. It's telling. You take notes, I guess. You take notes.
And you got to let people grow. You got to let people It's
grow.
Okay. Like, it's okay for people to change. Like, yes, you can be a complete asshole, racist, Ku Klux Klan leader and wake up one morning and be like, yo, I'm done with the hate. and we have to be okay with that. We have to be accepting.
Unless
It's
you did
gonna
something
start-
crazy.
Well, I mean, even if he did something crazy, maybe we're not going to invite him over to the barbecue. But
Nah, if
the
we get some
same way
evidence
we
on that
want
shit and put his
change,
ass
Thompson,
in jail.
the same way. Well, yeah, I'm talking about all that, but what I'm saying, if he burned a couple crosses, he never hurt nobody. He just did some fucked up shit, right? He burned a couple crosses. He called the cops on a couple black people. You know, he did some fucked up shit, right? But
Yeah, put his ass in jail.
he changed.
You put his ass in jail right now.
But this is another level that we got to be open
Fuck
to.
that.
We really want change. We have to be there when people are ready to change.
Yo, for sure.
You know what I mean?
And he needs to. No, I hear you. I hear you.
We got to.
I hear you.
We got to be more accepting of those people than they are ever been accepting of us. Because if you want the world to really change, I'm not saying accept them while they're being dickheads.
No, I hear
But
you.
the minute there's a little inch of like, oh shit, I might be wrong.
Here's the thing about that, right? Well, not the thing, but just you have to be able to understand if they're not, though.
Yeah, but
And you can't be mad at somebody if they don't like you because of whatever history they have with people that have acted like, spoken like, thought like the way you walk around.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So if this person comes in and he's a cop and he's white and he's blonde and he's blah, 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 and he goes to talk to the little girl and she doesn't want to talk to him, or not even the little girl, the 30-year-old woman, and she doesn't want to talk to him, people should stop being offended that people feel afraid.
Right.
I think that's part of it. It's not a you thing. I'm not afraid of you. I'm afraid of the institution. You know, I'm afraid of the idea and my experience with
Why
you.
do you think? But on the other side of that, why do you think a lot of these racist motherfuckers are the way they are? They're afraid of losing their,
Because they're
stupid.
ignorant.
But it's still a fear thing.
I know, but their fear is based in ignorance.
But if
My
you-
fear is based in actualities, in actual statistical truths. Your fear is based on propaganda and lies and a movie. A movie, by the way, the Burning Cross shit was from Birth of a Nation. Like, it's just a movie. They thought it was going to look cool on
But
film.
your son have been indoctrinated. Indoctrinated.
Oh, that's a hard one. I'm not even going to jump on the boat with you.
You
I'm
know,
going to let you float off in the ocean of can't say it.
you've been evolved. You've been bred to be this
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Condition, yeah.
And that conditioning is the same. Comes from the same thing of fear, and being not being what you think that your parents taught you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I think that it's not our job, but we have to be also. I'm not talking about like the crazy racist. I'm just talking about there's this dude. I was watching one of these videos, black dude that all he does is go after KKK people and become their friends. And then he actually gets their robe and stuff like that.
Yeah, he was on Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't fight with, I mean, I guess you can, but I think the right approach to everything. I'm not saying that like we should all be like compassionate and laid back, but the same way I understand why a rioter, in my opinion, and a looter is going in that store.
No.
And I have compassion for that person, and I understand that person.
See, listen, the idea of the riot, the idea of the destruction because of the hopelessness and the no other choice and all of that, of course, I agree with that, right? But I think what's happening now in 2020 doesn't have to do with much of that, the rioting part. I don't think. I don't think so. I don't think there's a lot of like because of the anger of it all.
Check.
Yeah, I mean, I can hear you.
Difficulties over here. Momo, go. Check. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you. I heard you the whole time.
Oh, it was my headphones.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah,
No, I was saying the 2020. I don't think right now, that's as much was going on. The destruction part of it, I don't think it's as much to do with.
It's the same thing that happened during it. It hasn't changed, in my opinion.
I think it is the same act. I think the emotion behind it, again, from what I've watched, it doesn't have a lot to do with the situation at hand. I think the marches, the protests, the civil unrest of it all, I guess, is civil. I don't know if riots are civil unrest. Does that count as civil unrest? Is a riot a civil unrest?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now I don't know about the definitions, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can protest and not have a riot.
sure you can. Of course you can. What are you talking about?
I
People
think
protest all the time without having
It
riots.
makes for more of a moment. It makes for more of like holy shit, this shit's real. When you sit around with a sign, I mean, I have this conversation all the time with people. It's like, sit around with that sign, marching around. What does that really do? To me, it doesn't do anything. It's
it
not
does a
until
little
it
bit.
gets to that level like we got for this time when people were like, holy shit, we're breaking into Louis, we're burning down police stations.
Yeah.
Look, there's a crazy video of like when's the last time this happened in Tampa? You know what I mean? Like,
No, I saw it. Yeah.
no, like this video with this freaking. Look at this.
All right, and then he hit me 2 more times just now.
Yeah. You see that on Instagram where they stole the tanks?
They stole tanks in Atlanta.
Yeah.
They're surrounding.
So like I said, that part of it,
You need that part.
you need that part.
You need
I
that
didn't.
part.
I mean, all right. So I don't think the rioting, does that count as rioting? I guess so.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of people kicking in the door and stealing the fucking Jordans down at Millennium Mall that had nothing to do with the walk.
Nah,
You
yeah,
know what I
that's-
mean?
That's
I'm talking about the people at the Tampa at the vitamin shop getting like vitamins or something.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Burning down the gas station, I don't think so, bro. Burning down the mall, I don't think so. I don't even think this shit. I think it's just people having a great time. These are
That's people having a great time.
I think these are kids having a great time, man.
Oh man,
I really do.
a great time.
I can hear you perfect.
I can't hear myself. That's why
I can hear you.
I'm having like. I
Is
don't
it
know if
moving?
it's-
Is the thing moving?
No. This is all fine. I'm just having an issue with my headphones.
Oh, I don't know what to tell you, player. I can hear you.
Well, let's play some facts because I think Kimberly has some shit to let us know. Kimberlina.
From thecentersquare.com. Local officials in Florida brace for violence, but most relax curfews after weekend protests, riots. State and local officials were anxiously awaiting what Monday night might bring after weekend protests statewide were marred by violence, property damage and tense confrontations with police. After a rash of rioting Saturday in Miami, Tampa and Jacksonville, at least 11 Florida municipalities imposed curfews Sunday that expired Monday morning. Miami-Dade County's curfew remains in place. Governor Ron DeSantis had not declared a state of emergency in Florida. On Saturday, the governor activated nearly 500 National Guardsmen to respond to requests for assistance from local officials. As of Monday, 150 guardsmen were in Miramar, 100 were in Tampa and 150 were in Camp Blanding near Stark. DeSantis had not addressed the demonstrations staged across the state and nation in the wake of last week's death in Minneapolis of George Floyd, a black man who died in custody after a white police officer knelt on his neck for several minutes until he issued a statement at 5 p.m. Monday. Florida has zero tolerance for violence, rioting and looting, he said. George Floyd's murder was appalling, and the Minnesota perpetrators need to be brought to justice, but this cannot be used as a pretext for violence in our Florida communities. DeSantis said he has activated an additional 200 Florida National Guardsmen specially trained to support law enforcement. I have also worked with the FHP to coordinate more than 1,300 sworn Florida Highway Patrol troopers to support local law enforcement efforts. We will continue to do everything necessary to keep residents safe. Weekend demonstrations were staged in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, Jacksonville, Orlando, Tampa, Tallahassee, Daytona Beach, Stuart, Lakeland and other Florida cities. Miami, protesters Saturday night vandalized or set ablaze 17 squad cars outside Miami Police Headquarters, hurled rocks and bottles, injuring 4 officers, shut down I-95, and looted stores inside Bayside Marketplace. Miami Police Chief Jorge Colina said Sunday that 13 of the 57 people arrested Saturday were Miami residents. The Miami Herald reported, however, 30 had Miami-Dade County addresses. 11 others were from Broward and Palm Beach counties, 7 were not Florida residents and 6 were listed as homeless. On Sunday, hundreds marched past the federal detention center and blocked the westbound lanes of I-395. They were confronted by Miami-Dade officers in riot gear and gradually dispersed without a repeat of Saturday's violence. Miami-Dade County remains under a curfew imposed by Mayor Carlos Gimenez. As a result, beaches closed since March because of the COVID-19 emergency did not open as planned Monday but may open Tuesday if the curfew is lifted. Fort Lauderdale, police used tear gas along Las Olas Boulevard and near the Broward County Library to break up what witnesses and media reported was a peaceful demonstration by about 2,500 people. One officer was suspended after video showed he pushed a kneeling woman to the ground, spurring protesters to throw bottles. Police and local officials said agitators are infiltrating organized marches. What I'm hearing from different sources is there are people embedded in these demonstrations to cause a lot of misery on people to make the demonstrators who were there early look bad and to really not benefit the cause of moving our country forward, Broward County Mayor Dale Holness told CBS 4 Sunday night. Tampa, protesters smashed 40 store windows, looted AT&T, jewelry and Champs Sports stores, and set a mobile gas station ablaze Saturday night. Police in riot gear confronted hundreds in University Mall's parking lot and arrested
burning
41.
a gas station to the ground.
One
You're trying
Hillsborough
to kill
County
yourself.
deputy was hit in the back of the head with a hard object, and a Tampa police officer was treated for minor burns after being struck by a mortar. Tampa Mayor Jane Castor on Sunday imposed a 7:30 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew in response to
That'd be
Saturday
homemade,
protests
right?
and called for National Guard
An army
assistance.
surplus store.
On Sunday, thousands gathered
Got a
and
mortar.
demonstrated.
Got
although
this
there was
from
little violence.
Vietnam's, boy.
Black Lives Matter organizers had nearly 100 safety marshals in fluorescent vests and with walkie-talkies, patrolling their march, using
Nice.
de-escalation tactics and watching for antagonists.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Jacksonville.
Organized.
Jacksonville
Where was
Mayor
that?
Lenny Curry on Sunday imposed an 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew after Friday
No.
and Saturday protests turned violent in the face of tear gas and a heavy police presence.
Yeah, police
Jacksonville
officer got
Sheriff
killed.
Mike Williams said one deputy was either stabbed or slashed in the neck and was taken to a hospital for treatment Saturday evening.
Oh, I guess he lived. Never mind.
Damn, bro. First off,
Well, hold on, sorry.
No, bro. To fucking to gauge a mortar is probably the hardest thing to hit.
That's what I'm asking.
somebody
Where
with.
was that? That wasn't Jacksonville because she said Jacksonville after that.
Maybe it was
Or
Tampa.
They said, is it Kimberly or they? I'm still not fully sure what Kimberly is. They sound different right now. Are they? Is that the same algorithm?
Yeah, that's Kimberly.
Okay.
Can't remember Kimberly, bro.
Well, I still don't fully understand what we're dealing with when we're talking about Kimberly.
That's because you're not an accepting person.
I
That's
am.
stuff that you got to deal with on a personal level.
I try to, so that's what I'm trying to break down. But whatever, we'll figure it out.
It's a personal thing that you got to evolve.
I think me trying to evolve is a good thing.
You figuring out what the fuck Kimberly is and trying to get a mortar to hit a cop and like angle that shit.
Where was that? I don't think it was
I think
Jacksonville.
It was Florida, bro.
Yeah.
They're hiring
Somebody threw
homemade mortar.
homemade mortar
You
at a
gotta
cop.
drop the mortar and then you gotta like
You gotta hit the thing.
you gotta like fucking triangulize. If you're
I don't
not
think
good
that's
with
a word,
geometry, bro, you cannot fuck with mortars.
Is it? It is geometry, isn't it? Angles,
It's math.
or
man.
is that
It's fucking crazy.
calculus?
And then
no, that's math.
yo, I get
I'm
like
an
throwing
idiot.
a rock or like I mean I don't get, but I understand it's easier to throw a rock or like hurl something at a cop, but to run up at a cop and stab him, that guy was from jail. That's some jailhouse shit.
Yeah, man. Like the lady said, or like Kimberly said. It's a small portion of people, man.
You know, but you know what I liked about the way the media, they're starting to separate the protesters. Like they're starting to see like, okay, this is a different group of people that's showing up here. Some of these people are really here to protest. Some of these people are, insurgents, political insurgents.
They said only 13 were Miami-Dade residents
Well,
out of 57 that
right,
were
but,
residents, and
you know,
30 had.
you gotta understand. Oh, keep fucking with this. When you talk about Palm Beach and Fort Lauderdale, that's like saying people from Kissimmee came to Orlando. It's the same thing. Even though Miami-Dade County is a huge county, anybody that was arrested from Palm Beach or Fort Lauderdale, that's like right up the street. So it's considered. You go down to Miami because it's a bigger city. It's probably going to be a bigger protest. You know, not a lot of people are gonna like go protest in Kissimmee, right? You go to Orlando.
That makes sense.
So that's why. But you know, I was surprised to hear the media really separate, you know, the protesters, and it sucks. But at the same time, like, you know, you showing up there as a Black Lives Matter activist organizer to try to have a peaceful protest, but now you need like hall monitors
Yeah.
to make sure motherfuckers ain't throwing like bricks and shit, and
Yeah.
or fucking little white people tagging up stores with Black Lives
Yeah.
Matter. Like,
It's
yo,
like,
we don't
ugh.
need you to do
That
that.
lady definitely checked her. I think that, and for any kind of movement to be successful, they need organization, and that happening with the vests and all of that is just a byproduct of that organization. So it sucks that it kind of takes away from the overall, you know, people doing it, as far as the time it takes to patrol or whatever, or monitor people. But since it's a movement that seems to be not successful, because there isn't an end to it yet, but succeeding,
Yeah,
um,
absolutely.
then they're going to be organized. So that's just going to be there. They through experience, they probably just realize we need people, because there's always going to be some crazy
Yeah,
asshole.
people, and like they're evolving so quick.
So
I mean,
it's good to see.
we're gonna have to see the future to see like the real outcome. But I really think this specific riot, I just feel like there's gonna be more change, more an awareness. There's more oversight and more accountability by white people, even myself. You know what I mean?
People end up, back when Bank of America was charging $35 for the overcharge fee, and a bunch of America got upset and fucking got mad and put their money where their mouth was, and fill in the blank, whatever they did, and they changed it. And then this thing happened where this guy slowly died, and mixed with Aubrey and
There's
just
a young lady also.
Breonna Taylor,
Yeah,
and then them still arresting her fiance. I don't know if a fiance or husband, and he's just defending himself for, again, the problem, the no knock raid with the fucking over aggressive policing and all of that shit.
military tactics.
Yo, anyway, just all of that mixed together, and then people at home with the time to Google. There's just people at home like this. Huh. Let's watch this documentary. Let's look at this piece of actual goddamn document from the government that says, hey, yeah, we specifically targeted these neighbors. Like, they literally have it, and they put it out on the internet for you to read and see that information. And now people have time to do it. So
I got time today.
I got time this past 2 months. 2020 done fucked me up. You know what I mean? They're just like, man, that's crazy, and just getting more pissed off and crying and just all of that shit.
Crazy
you know,
year,
I've done
bro.
some version of that the last 2 months. Maybe not all the way to tears, but close. You know,
Yeah, man.
and then it's like, you know what? For me personally, like I said, I've been having these conversations for about 10 years. Very surface level, not very surface level, but just largely uninformed. Just knowing the facts broadly.
Yeah,
There's a system in place. It's disproportionate and it's unfair.
yeah.
Yes, but I knew that because somebody told me that, and I did a little bit of research.
But our age group is coming into power too.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing is and not just on a political level, but just, financial level. They always talk about the baby boomers generation. Now it's our generation.
Uh-huh.
That is like raising the next generation, but in charge of what's going on now. And we're starting to see the repercussions of that. And I think it's a good thing. It might just be my perspective because I was raised in a certain time frame, and I'm starting to see the reality of things coming to fruition. You know what I mean? I mean, even somebody like Like when you read about like a Nikola Tesla, now we have like a Elon Musk. That's in our generation. Kanye might be the craziest person we've ever met, but that artistry, what he brings to the table, is another one of those things when we're like 67 years old. The way they talk about John Lennon or they talk about Jimi Hendrix or whatever, that's who we're gonna, and we're living it right
So
now.
you're saying Kanye has to die early?
No, I don't necessarily think he's got to die early, but we're gonna look at him, at what he's doing. Maybe he's a prince or whatever. Maybe the analogy of an artist that's dying is the wrong example, but just the fact that what he's doing now, we're gonna look back and say, "Wow, that was really revolutionary." What he did with shoes and all those things. What these, the lynchings that happened in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Even the shit in the 90s,
2020s.
Yeah, what we're starting to really live through, we can actually those feelings, we can apply them to real life shit. And now that, as a generation, we have power within our generation from what we learned, we can apply that to life, to real life shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
technology too.
Technology is crazy, man.
Like I said, man, ain't nothing better than Twitter right now.
And the way everything has become, like, you thought life was easier, it was getting easier, it's gonna get even easier in the effect of, like, maybe not mentally, but just like the ability. I mean, you were talking about working from home. That might be a serious reality. We might get rid of all these like big ass buildings that we go clock in 9 to 5 and have to follow the stupid structure. And basically, you hear this all the time. Like when you go to those places, it's like a high school, because that's the only other thing that people can analyze.
Yeah,
that's you went
spend
to a
all
box,
that time, yeah,
spend 8 hours there, build your social interactions, and then what do you think you're gonna do when you go to this other box?
They get clicked up.
And that happens in work.
They go out to parties afterwards.
Yeah.
Get drinks.
Imagine if we evolve and we are into a culture where you work from home and you still have colleagues and stuff, but you're with your family now. Like we really took that, when the industrialization of the world happened and dad had to wake up in the morning, instead of going to hunt and gather, motherfucker was going to a factory. That changed us as a dynamic as far as the structure of a family. What if that gets recycled again, and now dad gets to stay home all the time, and mom and she's working from home, and there's more time, so there's positive and negatives, but we're definitely at a point now, this 2020 shit.
Yeah, because there's a negative to that too, because now dad stays home all the time. Even though he's working from home, he's home all the time. Maybe dad's an asshole. Maybe dad's going to beat the shit out of you because he drinks more now. I know that's going up too.
But he's
presently drunk, beating your ass.
Yeah, but there's going to be a lot of families that have like
No, but I'm saying, I agree with you. There's positive and negatives, because maybe that guy should spend more time outside the house.
Well, we definitely seen, as far as statistically, there's been more child abuse and more like domestic violence and shit.
Yeah, man, people didn't know how to be with their family when they were with them, and then they got to go to.
It's a learning process. A relearning process.
Whatever, but I think this way is better.
I do too. I mean, I've definitely got to spend more time,
but it's not better for the economy right now, for sure.
We'll see.
Stock market's doing well.
Yeah, I mean that's always been like a facade, though. It's all about confidence. I really want to see if, like, they were saying we're gonna have a shortage of meat, or we're gonna have a shortage of this, or because people are not working, they're not in these factories and shit like that. So let's see. I mean, I know
some businesses closed down for sure.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Fuck me.
Stimulus check.
There's one held up, right? The next one is held up.
There's a lot of people in Florida that can't even get unemployment right now.
They're still in that boat. It was a high 90s, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's still the case though. Did they fix it?
Well, there's people that are getting through, but then there's like a backlog of payment that they have to go through too, because a lot of people were just on that. I mean,
Did
it's
Donald Trump
funny.
Still signing checks or what?
He's signing checks, man. Daddy is signing checks.
I mean, put my signature on it.
It's kind of smart.
How long would it take for me to do all of them? Kind of smart. That's genius.
I think that's why the treasurer was like, "Nah, we want you to sign up online.
Yeah.
You gotta send these damn checks out."
But it's genius, you know. If I'm going, I open his envelope up, and I'm not like thinking about shit, and I'm not like looking into the world and how shit works, and I just see that this dude Trump gave me all this money, and I'm like, who am I gonna vote for? And then people start telling me how one guy's a pedophile, and
Biden is
Dumb.
the same dude.
or whatever, right? And you know, so we just end up.
Because Biden's definitely had his weirdo shit with little girls and shit too.
My point on that has always been vaguely the same.
Yeah.
One guy is going to make my neighbor feel like it's okay to come out his house and tell me to go fuck myself because he'll face fuck me with a chainsaw, because that's what they used to do in the 20s.
That was the thing.
You know what I mean? And the other guy is going to have that neighbor say that to his wife about me inside their own home. So if that's my choice, one guy who's going to possibly incite me into some sort of race war, and another guy who's just maybe says a lot of the same shit, feels a lot of the same shit, possibly, I don't know. I'm going to go with, if everything else is the same, policy, whatever, you know. I mean, I read the plan on, I tried to read a lot of the plan on his website. It gets really in depth, and it gets really like legalese or wordy a little bit. And a lot of it is lofty.
Biden shit.
Yeah, a lot of it is like, it sounds like you're trying to like just pander to me. It felt like that, you know. You know, these people are the best type of people, blah, we need to make sure we blah, blah, and do that. It's like, damn, this sounds familiar. This has been asked for a long time, and this is what you're going to deliver us now. It's amazing. But again, if all of that's, if when I say all else is the same, I don't believe either one of them about anything they're saying. You know what I mean? So if all I have is this one guy's going to incite a race war some type of way because he's ignorant as fuck and doing like all sorts of crazy like maneuvers and lying. And then the other guy is at least cordial or presidential about it, you know, and not like emboldening people to like hate.
Yeah.
I'm going to choose that guy.
I just don't. I think that guy has always been there. You think it really was like it's really galvanized? I guess the Tiki guys, right? I have a hard time believing that it's fully like, yeah, Trump has instigated shit, but I think those people are always there.
Again, if my neighbor comes out in his front yard and says crazy shit to me because he feels like it's okay to.
But he's not going to stop saying that crazy shit because Biden's in.
But he's in the house. He's saying it to his wife in the house instead.
What I'm saying is that regardless of who the president is, that guy is still going to do what
he's not.
You don't think so?
No, he's not. Not as many of them. No.
If Biden becomes president. I think they're going to galvanize him.
Not as many of them.
I think if Biden becomes president, he's gonna. Those dudes are gonna be more empowered.
Nah, bro.
Yeah.
How's that?
Because they think they're running shit right now.
Right.
Once they lose that power, they're really gonna
take
press
their ass back
shit.
in the fucking house and go beat their wife some more.
I think it's gonna galvanize them.
No.
To be worse.
No.
Because they lost again.
Impossible.
The reason why I think these motherfuckers came out in droves and voted,
because they were emboldened by the message.
No, they were pissed off that Obama was president for 8 years. They're like,
part
this
of it
shit
too.
ain't happening again.
It's a pendulum. It's a pendulum that goes back and forth and back at Clinton to Bush to Obama to fucking.
Yeah, I mean, look at
it's a pendulum, but that's part of it. That's not the whole thing. If you look at the broader picture of it, it's just the emboldening of the message. If you can,
that's the media's
if you can be
fault,
at it, bro. He's literally at conventions telling you to beat up people.
He's
literally doing that.
No, you're right. But if the media
and the other person isn't, that's what I'm saying.
When's the last time you went to Trump's Twitter?
I don't have to go to it.
Right. That's my whole point. It's like we promote that about him, and that galvanizes
the media. He literally does it. it isn't like it may be like put on because it's outrageous and whatever, and it gets clicks or whatever, but he literally
He does.
does it.
He does.
What I'm saying is, if all else is the same, I'd rather go with the guy that doesn't do it. If he doesn't do it, then at least his presidential fake puppet ass won't inflame other shit.
It does inflame. That's
No,
what
it
I'm
doesn't.
saying.
If he doesn't say go punch that mother. Remember in the old days when you could do whatever to anybody and they could lay him out on a stretcher, right? That bullshit, that's inflammatory. Biden won't do that shit. But maybe he'll do a bunch of old other terrible systematic bullshit. I agree. If that's gonna happen anyway, then just get the fucking guy that's not gonna embolden some racists. Yeah, there'll be some sort of backlash, but there's gonna be backlash anyway.
That's my point.
No, it's going to be worse if the motherfucker is emboldened to say, see, he won another one. He's going to do it some more and he can do it some more. Fuck that. If it's all the same anyway, then it just be like, just keep people calm while we fix shit. That's all. He doesn't keep people calm. He does the opposite.
Yeah.
And he literally does it. It's not like we make his mouth say shit.
No.
Like it just happens.
But I think he does it more because it gets such a rise, and the media will share it, retweet it, promote it. Like I think that's what his whole game is. He knows what's going to get attention, and then the media is going to flame it, and that's what stirs up the pot. You know what I mean? And the pot's already stirred, so you add this fucking dumbass Biden that has no real power, that he's just like a fucking mannequin. You know what I mean? I'm honestly not even going to vote, so I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. But I just don't think that it really is going to affect it in the worst way. If he stays president or leaves president, those people are always going to be there. They're always going to be, in my eyes, a minority. And the only reason why they look like they have so much power is because the media is there to paint that picture. Because I don't see it. I see racism. I see the Confederate flag. I seen what happened during the Tiki Torch shit and the way that guy ran over that girl and shit like that. I see what happens, but I see what happens through the media, through this shit that we believe is reality. You know what I mean? And I think that has a point with it. That has a point of making it what it is, when it's already been there. You know what I mean?
Yep, it's already been there, and you see it in the media.
So,
you see it in the media.
These are some pretty crazy. We already seen the crazy clips of. This is in Tampa, which I don't ever think I've seen this level. Florida.
Okay, yeah, we're with you here.
Especially in Tampa. Now, because of all this crazy stuff, I actually did a list.
This is literally all kids. Like,
Yeah.
show me an adult in any of these people right here.
I'm sure there's kids or people our age there.
Go back. I challenge you. Show me somebody over 20 years old.
I have some footage of some older people over here.
From right here.
Maybe not specifically right here from the aerial.
No,
but I can
these
see.
are all kids right here.
That looks like a grown man right
Where?
there. Where'd he go? I was finding him over here. It's like, where's Waldo?
It is like, where's Waldo? Child. Those are all teenagers, bro.
I can't tell from the aerial, but I have another.
Man, you can tell by the walk.
Check.
You can definitely. Okay, that guy. I'll show you an adult. Rewind it. Go back. I'll show you an adult. This guy. That's an adult. Watch him.
Yeah.
Watch him. Just watch him. Watch this. Yeah, no. See him walk away? See him walk away? He was like, nah, I don't know. I don't think so. You guys are wilding out. I'm gone.
K&G Fashion is not a little kid store. That's grown man suits in there.
They got some shoes. They got a couple t-shirts. They're oversized, but, you know, whatever.
Yeah, but this stuff is going to get taken back to the adults. They'll help flip it.
Nah, they're just gonna wear it and they're gonna sell it on eBay using their apps and shit. Damn, they empty that bitch and burn it down.
This is the Champ store in Tampa.
It don't take but a couple people.
All right, that looks like a young kid.
No, they're all kids, bro. In that video, in that one shot.
Now there's this. Okay, hold on.
Why'd he hit that dude in the back?
That guy looks mad. Go lay down. Go lay down.
Cosmo, they shouldn't be doing it.
That's what a mortar is.
Yeah, man.
Hold on. All right, so look at this.
Every night, without fail, this store owner says this security gate goes down.
But, you know, when there's 40 or 60 people coming in and lifting it and, you know, things happen.
The sort of thing that happened outside Golden Diamonds Tampa Saturday night was this. And owner Koki was watching it all unfold on TV.
No.
My employees and my husband left 5 minutes before they got here.
Koki says a large group was able to push the security gate up and break in through their double glass.
They got in, but once they got in, they kind of got stuck there because once you're in, and by then the cops had arrived on the bikes, which I was watching on the news myself. It was just sad.
She says that she supports the right to protest, but would never condone the looting.
Oh, I don't want anybody else getting hurt. I don't want anybody in general getting hurt. We don't want to repeat hate, you know.
As for the other damaged businesses,
they're disappointed. They're shocked. They are suffering because, you know, now they have bills to pay. Everybody has bills to pay.
She knows that she doesn't speak for all of the businesses, but wants to send this message to those who looted her family's livelihood.
Protest, yes, you know, but don't take advantage of the situation because it's not fair to people who support you.
In Tampa, Jennifer Holton, Fox 13 News.
So I will agree on those footage, but there's other footage that I see. Maybe they weren't directly in Florida, that they were grown people looting.
I'm not saying all of them are kids at all. But they fall in line with the same way of thinking, right?
Yeah, they hate society.
No, I don't think so.
Society has turned their back. If it's a good kid,
listen,
they grew up in a nice privileged home.
No. The people who are actually for the movement aren't looting and rioting.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the kids that are actually rioting come from homes that are you know,
that are affected by the problems,
and that's why they're there. I don't think
I agree with that.
You would break into a store like that.
I agree with that. They're a byproduct of it. They're an offshoot.
That's what I'm saying.
But they're not doing it because of that. Like because of that, yes, but not just like, oh man, the system and my mom and they're redline. They don't know. They just want to break shit and watch it burn
because they know fuck the police. They know that
again. They don't. I don't think a lot of them like even grasp why that is. They just know. They just know it.
Fuck 12 to fuck 12.
A lot of times, like I live like that a large portion of my life, where I'm just like I know that's a thing just because, and then I keep it moving.
Right, us as people that grew up in a relatively good home. Anybody directly in your family?
Great home.
Okay, but has anybody directly from your family, like that you know? Like close family have ever been like beat up by police or like did you know not like a friend's friend but like a family member?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. And that still doesn't that still has affected you?
So literally I'm not going to say literally because I can't remember every African American, dark skin, whatever friend I've ever had in my life. But every person that I've ever spoken to about being dealt with in life has had some sort of negative experience when it comes to race.
Right.
It is
specifically with police.
No, I guess not specifically with police.
That's my point. I think a lot of these people, I think the majority, you sit down, a lot of these kids that were in those stores, I think they come from those little communities.
Yeah. That are over policed.
And that's where that fuck the police spirit, fuck the
sure.
Fuck going to court all the time.
Yeah.
Fuck Department of Child Services that came and took my mom away. They constantly see the government as an enemy. Where we can kind of see them as an enemy, but there's still a respect there.
Yeah.
And I think those people get galvanized to do shit like that.
But I think the majority of what's happening here has nothing to do with like a political anything. Like that's given that they just want to shit.
I agree.
They're kids
I
and they
agree.
just want to see shit like, let's go down there. Fuck the police. Let's go down there and like let's go to the jewelry store. You know what I mean? Like just there's no real organization or whatever.
No. But they're doing it because they're mad and because they feel like they're disenfranchised.
Maybe.
That's my whole point.
Maybe. But even that is like giving it more power, I think.
There's a small percentage there to act an ass.
That's my hesitation, is giving it the kind of power and respect that the protest should have.
But I think
that's why I hesitate to say.
But you need it.
I agree with that 1,000%. And it's like we're not even like disagreeing. It's just kind of like what amount of power we're supposed to put to each.
Right.
I don't want to lump it in together as one
because we can agree that.
But it's weird because I don't want to lump it together as one, but it's part of it. I told my girl, I was like, yo, everybody grows up with these group of friends, right? You got like the athlete guy, you got like the smart guy, you got the funny guy. And then you got that crazy motherfucker in the back. Like, his ass will do pretty much whatever you ask him to do on a dare.
When you grow up in like a super poor neighborhood,
everybody has the same group of friends, even if it's a level, different levels of it.
I don't agree with that.
There's always a funny guy in the crew.
When you go to the hood,
he's gonna be funny for the hood.
No, yeah, but the point is that like your neighbors are all living in the same type of environment. Dad's either in jail. Mom's got to work 3 jobs or she's strung out on some type of drugs. That's not like in our kind of neighborhoods, even though we didn't grow up super rich, that's like in every other house scenario. In certain neighborhoods, that's in every door behind each door scenario.
For sure.
Those neighborhoods are more of a minority, but they're going to make more of these people. And I think there's a strong majority in those that are going to riot. There is, like I seen the white kids in Santa Monica right in the surfboard store. Like, we know that motherfuckers that got a chance to go surf probably don't need to be in that store. Like, you ain't there.
I mean, they'd be rogue too, though.
But what
I hear you saying.
What I'm saying is that there is a form of expression through that, because they're like, I'm not going to sit around with this corny ass college educated black person that thinks they're superior to me because they can have a more intellectual conversation and have a better way of even understanding how to go down to City Hall and protest something or sign. I don't understand what the fuck a legislation is. You said that level of like poverty and ignorance where it's self-destructive and they don't even notice. Like, I don't know where my next meal's coming from. Fuck it, burn the whole shit down.
Right.
That's the level that I agree with.
There's an aspect of it, I think, of what we're both talking about in those crowds.
Are you a vegan with a cow on your shirt?
Black cow manure.
The mature manure.
It's taking their shit and making plant food out of it.
Oh.
So
that's mad confusing.
It's all good.
Maybe you should add like a Ghostbuster symbol to that with like a.
What do you mean? It's taking their shit. It's not the cows. Like when you go to Burger King and eat a cow, it's not that. It's the shit that comes out of the cow.
But black now, the mature manure. I'm lost.
Well, you know how fertilizer works?
Yeah, you put it in the ground and it helps grow shit.
It's shit.
Yeah.
It's not. It's the shit from it. I'm not putting it up in a stall and like locking it down its face or whatever, and then sticking little metal things on its teats.
So you're saying
to like
don't
suck
focus
it out.
on the cow, focus on the shit.
The cow is what's making the shit. And then I take that separate from the cow. The cow's still doing whatever the cow
Yeah,
do.
let the cow live.
Cow does
Just
whatever
take
it
the shit
does.
from it.
Take the shit from it, and then put that in the ground and grow whatever.
Yeah.
So yes, but again, this is a different conversation. I don't like to.
I just see
I don't
the
like to
cow-
classify myself as a vegan. I don't necessarily like that.
So
I just try not to, because there's a whole thing that comes with being vegan.
Oh yeah, we've had this conversation. But as far as like just like daily
It's just
diet,
easy.
Just daily diet.
Just plants,
Is there like a term that's not vegan? It's just plant eater,
plant based,
omnivore.
herbivore. Yeah,
Herbivore.
I think omnivore is something else.
Omnivore is like meat,
I
right?
think you eat eggs. Is omnivore? I don't know. No, but listen. I think other protests in the past, when there was rioting, I think saying the riots or the looting or whatever and the destruction, it gave it like they romanticized it a little bit to me because it's
Yeah.
necessary.
Well, what I think it's doing also is pushing people to. It's pushing society to be more. Like, if you don't separate the protesting and the rioting, which I'm glad the media is starting to do, like, oh, these people are here, movement, and then there's some insurgent people. So that's important because what's starting to happen now is I'm going to play this next thing, played by our multi-sexual AI. She's going to give us a story about a gang member that posted his opinion on social media and got arrested for it. So, yay, we're protesting for rights, but are these protests because they're becoming so popular and they're, so-called adding a strain on society because of the looting and everything? They're starting to arrest people.
But they're not.
Go ahead.
How is this causing a strain in society?
Well, I think that's the way the government's looking at it because they're starting to arrest people for just posting shit on Instagram.
It's such horse shit, dude.
But that's the way the powers that be look at it, right?
So, does it make it right?
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that there's things that there are laws being passed or laws they're using laws to. Back in the day, it was all about like freedom of speech, say whatever you want. You know what I mean? In a sense, that's the way it was promoted to us as Americans. So that's why you have the right to protest. But they're using this, like if you're on the side of rioting and you're mad and you want to state that on your Instagram, it's becoming a criminal offense.
Well, let's see it, Kimberlina.
From so-called getting results, click Orlando.com. Florida man used social media to encourage rioting at Orlando premium outlets, police say. Man was known member of Orlando street gang, police say.
Got them
Orange
Bluetooths,
County,
don't you?
Florida. A Florida man was arrested Thursday after he made posts to social media inciting looting and riots at the Orlando premium outlets, according to the Orlando Police Department. On May 31st, OPD's gang unit had been monitoring social media for intelligence, specifically related to publicly available posts, which encouraged, incited, organized, or advertised acts of violence and rioting inside the city of Orlando, according to a report.
So you see what the cops are doing? They're surfing people's social media and their hashtag. And that's what I'm saying about, that's how I heard about like, well, we're going to triangulate where your cell phone was at. And if your cell phone happened to be in the area that this crazy shit was happening, now you can possibly be arrested for that shit. They're using technology against us. And
I still don't see how you can be able to arrest me because I was in the area.
I mean, I understand that he's like
how's that legal?
They're using it because it's a form of proving the same way let's say like there's a body that gets shot or whatever, and they can prove that you were there with a gun because of your cell phone. That's part of.
Okay, that's different.
No, it's the same thing.
No, it's not. If I'm there because somebody shot a loud shot, then I'm a witness to a crime.
If a crime happened in a specific area,
sure,
and we can translate.
I may or may not be a witness.
Triangulate your cell phone
Triangulate,
in that area.
Yeah, but again, a murder is different from me like standing around
is
when
crime.
some dudes are looting.
Crime is crime.
No, listen. If I'm standing there when somebody murders somebody, right? That's different than if I'm standing there and somebody's looting something. That's completely different. I'm witness to a murder. I'm witness to somebody stealing something. If somebody shoots somebody over here and I see it, then I'm witness to somebody murdering somebody. Somebody's over here and I see it, then I witness somebody stealing something.
Still a crime.
Yeah, but like it's different.
Yeah, but now you got to prove that you weren't.
No, I don't. I don't have to prove anything. I was just standing here. I don't. There's no. I have no
I'm not
responsibility
necessarily
in the
talking
matter.
about you. I'm talking about how they can use that
So
as
how do
evidence.
you walk that I was there? So how do you walk up to me and says I did something wrong? I don't. That's the part I don't understand. I didn't do anything wrong. I was just standing here.
Yeah, it's guilty by association, though.
Not at all.
Yeah.
No, you try to put that onus on me as a prosecutor, you're going to lose. You're not going to be able to tell me I have anything to do with anything unless you prove I have anything to do with anything. I mean, this is the problem. People think I'm automatically guilty, but I'm not. I'm just standing here.
Yeah, but you got to prove it in court. You got to get
No,
an
I don't.
attorney.
I'm innocent until proven guilty.
You still got to get an attorney and prove it in front of a judge.
That's exactly right. I agree with that. That's the way it goes.
That's what sucks about it.
Right? But hopefully I get my court fees paid for or whatever.
It's like you and your homies jump in a car and ride out somewhere, and your friend decides to shoot somebody, and you guys happen to be like on your Instagram talking about,
yeah, that's different.
we're a family gang.
That's different.
No, but check this out, right? Remember how we used to call ourselves family gang
Yeah.
as part of this band, this artist movement? We're riding in the car. I decide to shoot somebody.
That's different.
They go back on our Instagram, and there's a whole bunch of family gang.
No, that's
tags.
completely different though.
It's different in the circumstance, but
That
still,
I'm right next to you in the car as you do a drive by, so now I'm a party to your murder. Then I
Right.
have something that's different than me just standing in the same area. That's completely different.
but they're still going to use those same tactics on people like that, especially people that were like right by the door, or they can prove that the cell phone was inside the building, and even if you didn't take anything, you were just there.
Yeah, technology doesn't exist to do by the feet, not by the fucking. They're going to be within probably like 20 feet or something like that. But again, I'm just standing. Unless you have video of me stealing some shit, then I don't understand what you're even here for. I don't even think I'll waste my money on a lawyer until they fucking like explain to me exactly how are you putting this on me? Prove I stole something.
Once the prosecutor charges you with something, you have to then get an attorney and prove yourself.
Yeah. That's fucked up. This shit's fucked up.
This guy, all he did was post, I hope they fuck up the Orlando outlets. That's just his opinion.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, prove he did something wrong. Prove I did something wrong. I'm just here. It's just ridiculous. Meanwhile, 8 o'clock hits and they're shooting tear gas at people. 7:45 hits and they're warning people they're going to shoot you with tear gas. You haven't even done anything wrong to warrant that type of aggression.
Well, they're even saying tear gas is unconstitutional or it's against the human rights.
I've been posting and looking into all week because in 1993, let alone in like the 1920s, but in 1993, the UN or United States signed something. I forgot what it was called exactly, but yeah, it makes it a war crime. So I can't use tear gas if I'm shooting hot metal at you, hot spinning metal at you. I can't use tear gas because it's too inhumane. But if a motherfucker's doing a sit-in past 8 o'clock, I can shoot one off to disperse them. And these goddamn pepper bullet things that they're flying around, they're supposed to shoot off the ground, but bitches are getting shot in the face for them. The aggression, dog. The militaristic aggression that has been going on since fucking, not even like Reagan or fucking Clinton. I don't know. When the fucking military start getting involved and they got federal funding to use tanks and those sonic devices and all this stuff on like regular ass people, dog. Because a small percentage of kids are stupid, partly because of the situation that you put them in to begin with, historically, because they're stupid, you're putting that on everybody. Like, I kept asking online, like, why? Because somebody threw, I don't know if you ever did this, and I'm not by any means justifying it, but I'm just giving it some context. When I was in 6th, 7th grade, I'd have me and 4 of my friends and 5 of my friends on the other side, and we'd have a rock war. No riot gear, no goddamn nothing. We'd be 100 feet, 80 feet away from each other, throwing rocks at each other, getting out the way. How does that thing that I did for fun as a child warrant chemical warfare?
Yeah.
How is that possible? How is that even like legal?
Because society sucks, and the people that are down there protesting don't have the money to represent themselves.
It's like
to change.
They feel
rich
hopeless.
People ain't down there.
They feel hopeless,
the
bro.
majority of them are.
They feel Cats feel hopeless, right?
Yeah.
Parts of them feel hopeless. Parts of them feel like, okay, finally something that I can get behind as far as a movement. Part of them feel like,
yeah, because people are gonna get tired. Like that curfew shit is stupid. Just let them fucking protest till
type of
they
shit.
get tired.
Type of shit people do to downtown Orlando on St. Patty's Day. Just destruction that happens. Nobody's getting maced or tear gassed because of that shit.
Maybe mace, but not
maybe
tear gas.
mace. You're right.
Yeah.
There might be a mace in there too.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's disproportionate. And then when old fucking Buddy Dyer comes out with like, everybody has stood together and spoken. Thanks for coming out. And
Yeah.
come on, dog.
Yeah, that's because that guy just is Disney.
Come on, dog.
It's our city. Disney,
I want
it's
to.
a Disney
Well,
vibe.
let me see it. Let me see it.
Yeah.
Let me see it, bro. Stop the fucking chokeholds. Stop the tear gassing. Stop the goddamn no knock raids. Take the fucking
You think something like that could happen in Orlando? You think our cops are that brutal in Orlando?
I think when we start talking about specific cops that get their feelings hurt because people say fuck the police or fuck the racist police, I think you're wasting your time. I think what we're talking about is an institution and a system. So it just needs to not be allowed. Whether they do it a lot or do it at all, I think is irrelevant.
Yeah.
I think we're at a point now where it just doesn't need to happen.
No, absolutely. But I think that there's certain like vibes of cities that maybe it's a historical thing.
Bro, if you look at what we're allowed to do, it's worse than some other cities. We don't have to announce that we're going to shoot the gun. We don't have to not choke people. We don't have to not use aggressive force as a first option. We don't have to exhaust every other option besides a pistol.
Yeah.
There's things, it's worse than some other cities. So I don't know the statistics on how much we do or don't do. Like I said, that's irrelevant. It just doesn't need to happen. It doesn't need to be allowed. And we need to really seriously, and I feel strongly, besides education of children and dealing with kids and making sure the kids are good because the environments aren't the best, I think police reform and police tactics is like one of the main things that we need to do that'll help with this issue that we're having. The way it gets approached. I'm not a law enforcement professional. I don't know all of their policies. I know what I see. And when there's a bunch of people standing somewhere yelling about peace, or sitting somewhere yelling about peace, and 50 people show up with bats, helmets, and gear.
That's you just made me realize.
It's military shit. What are you doing here like that?
Is that what causes the riot? Right?
Yes, no, it does. There's been studies on that.
Showed up.
There's been
with riot gear.
There's been studies on that.
With riot gear, then you just showed up for a protest. There wouldn't be no
There's
riot.
absolute studies on that. The same way there's studies on when the few start acting an ass in the protest, and then it gets like people involved that didn't really want to act ass in the first place. They're just like, fuck it. There's like a saying for that. There's like a psychosis that happens when they're like, yeah.
But when your authority shows up like that,
before that, there's the agitation.
You're antagonizing people.
That's what I mean. Like, imagine somebody showing up, like I said, with the guy who gets on the internet and goes to like, how do I make a bomb? And instead of a SWAT team showing up, some lady shows up and is like, hey, what's up, Tom?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah, the progressive.
Can I get you some help? Yeah, Flo shows up. You know what I mean? Like the difference.
Yeah.
Or they talk about Tamir Rice with the toy gun. Instead of rolling up on him like that, could they have handled that different?
Yeah.
You know, instead of popping him, the autistic teacher or no, the guy. So there was the
Miami,
guy that was like, and then the black dude showed up. He was like, I am a professional, blah blah. I don't have any weapons. Like he's got his hands up and he's just like scooting and he's like pow pow pow. Could that have been handled different? You know?
Yeah. It's
and you know, and I get it. There's police officers out there that are like, hey man, I'm a good cop. I would never do that. We're talking about a percentage. All of this is a percentage of all of the shit that happens. So we're not talking about you. We're talking about the bad shit that happens. That's what we're talking about now. So if you're offended, ask yourself why you're mad that we're telling truths. It feels weird that you're getting attacked, but not. I tell this to my girlfriend all the time. If I'm scrolling Facebook and some hurt person says, men ain't shit, do I get offended? No. I'm the shit. She ain't talking about me. She's talking about the bullshit men that she's dealing with. So I'm having these conversations with a lot of people, bro. I talked to a police officer. And I was like, what can I say that won't offend a good police officer like yourself? Fuck the racist police? And he was like, no, because that still kind of sounds like police are racist. How about fuck bad cops? And I was like, okay, I'll try to remember to say that instead. Now, I'm not even fuck the police guy. That's not me.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I was trying to figure out what the term is that people could say. But fuck the bad cops. But I challenge current law enforcement and current
authority.
Current patriotic. You know, people with the they're not cops, but they got like the Blue Lives Matter thing, and they're really like America. I challenge them not to be upset that people are upset about their current situation.
Yeah.
Ask why they're upset about the current situation and try to understand it's not fuck all white people or not fuck all police or no shit like that. Because it's not.
I think cops have to be more on the defensive instead of the, you know, the antagonist. Like showing up in riot gear and then like waiting for it not to riot is stupid. Like you know what's gonna happen.
You're trying.
You showed up with the gear. Oh, might as well use it. I got all this gear. I gotta hit somebody.
And then you play into the narrative of the bricks.
Yeah.
You know, if the bricks thing isn't true, which I'm choosing to believe isn't true, just because I feel like not living in such a conspiracy theory driven world, and even though it's really hard because it seems like we are, you play into the narrative that when you kettle people, you know what kettling is?
Yeah.
You play into that narrative.
Yeah, antagonizing.
You know, you fucking like, I don't know. It's just
giving people the option of even like, oh, wait a minute, I could possibly wild out.
Yeah, it's what you're kind of asking for.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, man, if that didn't happen, right? And then if people just sort of, when I say people, I mean police, bad police. If those people were just called out like right away, in front of us, would help. You know, because then you build that trust. Like, yeah, they're not gonna let them fuck off like that. But when you see up in Buffalo, when the cop pushes over the old man and he just bleeds out in front of the floor,
and the other cop
one cop goes to do something, he's like, nah, keep walking. Yeah. What the fuck are we doing, bro?
Yeah.
And it's all over trying to get rights for black people. Think about how fucking racist that in itself is. Like, you're going to let this old ass dude die because you hate. No, that's a stretch. Okay. I won't say that guy hates black people because he's like, I'm just saying like the whole idea, the whole argument that they're fighting against or trying to like stop from happening is just like something super basic that people have been begging for like such a long time. And it's so sad, man. It was like if George Floyd is fucking makes you pissed off and cry and all this other stuff, the old dude just makes you sad, man. That was like the saddest shit.
Yeah.
because he didn't move, you know. He didn't move. He just sat. He dropped his phone, and then there was just like a slow pool of blood that started behind him.
It didn't even seem like homie was the old man was protesting or anything. He was just
He was like asking. It seemed like, "Hey, can you tell me where to find the best cup of coffee around?" You know, like the way he was like, "Hey, excuse me, I was wondering." He's like, "Fuck you." I was like, "What the fuck, dog?" And you know why that is? You know why that happens across the board? And this is just like an average thing. The percentage of time that gets dedicated to certain things in training. First of all, apparently in Florida, and since this is as of 2016, so this might not be the truth now, but you got to have 770 hours of training to be a police officer. How many hours do you have to have to be a barber? How many?
I don't know.
1,200.
Wow.
Damn near double. Now, that's not to say that departments don't put their deputies or whatever through more training after the allotted, however much they're supposed to get, but that they're not required to be. So smaller police precincts, I don't know, DeBarry's or whatever the fuck, they don't require as much because they don't got the money. So you got these fucking motherfuckers who can't cut hair. Not to say cutting hair is easy. I'm sorry, barbers, that came off the wrong way. But now they're in charge of people's lives.
Yeah.
That's just bananas.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely, man. And I mean, just a lot of the people don't even have like a real education. They just come straight out of high school, and now they're enforcing laws and shit. And it's like, yeah, I think the badge has to be put on a higher regard and higher training, and I think there's other levels besides just training. It's like where you're deploying these people to.
That's what I'm saying. Like before that, the time allotted for the training, like I said, first of all, it's 770, right? Which was as of 2016, something like that, 700 hours. But 111 or whatever are put toward goddamn firearms, self-defense, killing, reaction time, and then you get like 8 hours for racial bias or meditation or anger management, or I don't know if it's 111 and 8. That's just that's a number I saw, but like so much more goes dedicated to like being an effective soldier, warrior, and then not as much goes to
being a peace officer.
Like I said, implicit bias, like just recognizing that because of the system that we've been put in, you see color a different way automatically, and not just automatically thinking that makes you a bad person or something like that. It doesn't. Nobody's saying that. It's like when you look at TV, if you scroll on Amazon and you look at movies, it goes white, 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 black main character, Spanish main character, white, white,
and
white.
Even the black programming is like organized and written for the taste palette of a white person.
You got the rapper, the gangbanger, the helper. There's so many goddamn sidekicks that are black. It's ridiculous.
The tatted man.
So like, you know, it's just we've just grew up in this world where that's what it is, you know, and you can't even argue that. I don't understand how people argue that. Now, I understand people are like, I guess, upset, or me too, even, that there is a level of programming that happens and makes you comfortable in different situations. But oh well, you know, I feel like it's, if as long as you recognize it and try all the time, again, that's what the training is for. Like if they trained you how to like fight that bias, then if you're put in a split-second decision to decide if that dude's a bad guy or a good guy, you know, you make the correct choice in that, instead of just, because they did some study, I forgot where they tested like whether you would basically shoot a black dude faster or a white dude faster, and guess who fucking lost that goddamn thing. But it just, if you had that training, then at least you could, I guess theoretically, you could overcome that bias. That'd be part of it. And it none of it's perfect, you know what I mean? But What I'm saying is there's not enough put toward trying to like mitigate that at all. But all of it's put toward being a good soldier and wrist locks and hip throws. And
I think what it is too is that it's the lack of, and this happens incrementally. I'm not saying shit doesn't change, but I think another reason why it takes so long for things to change is that we are automatically programmed in the same way for shit like this to happen, and then there'll be an ending point, and then we go back to regular life. I think we're too used to just going back to the same life. And the same way we need more training with cops, I think, and we talked about this off air, but I want to make a point, is we need to stop being so proactive for the moment and be proactive, period. Like, if you're going to show up to a protest, then you not, and you want to be all galvanized and make signs and shit, where does that stop? Like, you go protest on Monday and then Saturday it's done? Like, why aren't a lot of the same people going to the city commission office or really running for office, or, you know, just, and I'm not saying a lot of people don't do that. I know a lot of people get organized because of these things, and then it changes their life and they make it a whole lifestyle after that. But the majority's not doing that. The majority goes back to work, goes back to the same thing. So I think on that side too, we as a people, or the people really that are going to show up to these protests and go hard, like, the shit doesn't stop when the protest is done. You know, this needs to turn into a lifestyle, because those same people that are out there in droves, if that was done, and I think it's beginning to happen now, surprisingly, like, people are not done with this George Floyd thing. They're still protesting to this day. And I just hope that those people are showing up at City Hall. Every city has a City Hall. And if those city halls are not full, like these protests are, every week until these changes come about, and if we're not putting pressure on the local commissioners until we're driving them out of office and putting people that deserve to be in his office, then, just sit at home and expect for shit not to happen. That goes for me too. Like, I stopped going to protest for a lot of things for that, because I was told the same thing. Like, and it's something that, I told my little brother when he showed up to the protest, because he's younger than me, like, don't just show up on Saturday, bro. It needs to be Monday through Friday. And that's where I realized, like, damn, I don't know if I could really, give my life fully to something like this. So I'm going to figure out another way, or maybe I'll just financially support the people that I believe in.
I mean, I think all that's important, actually. I think just giving money is better than doing nothing. Just posting on Twitter is better than doing nothing.
I have a hard time arguing with. I have a hard argument with that. Is like social warrior. Like, I get the positive thing of you being.
I think if I judge somebody about something and all I did was tweet, and all I did, like, if I say you're not doing anything and all I'm doing is something super simple, then I can agree that that's not.
But that's the majority, I think.
I don't think. I don't know. I don't know.
How easy
maybe.
was it to just turn your profile Avi to a black tile?
Okay.
That happens all the time.
And there's nothing wrong with that, as long as I'm not like doing that and then turning around and saying, yo, y'all don't do shit for the movement, blah, blah, blah. And all I did was change my avatar.
What about you just change your avatar, but then you go and still support the bullshit?
What bullshit? Like the bad stuff?
Just in the sense of like, oh, I did enough by doing the Avi. Like, just don't be involved at all.
No, I disagree. I disagree. Because any kind of support is support on a macro scale. Me not knowing anything and looking at some like CNN map of people who were in a protest, I don't care that this person's not going to be there next week. Like, as far as me seeing this and seeing this change, because the protest ain't nothing about nothing except pressure, putting pressure on whatever system they're protesting.
Yes, we agree with that, but a lot of people just show up for the moment.
Right, and they do, and we don't want that.
It's
but
fake.
It may be, but in the moment, it's useful and it can be used. So I'd rather people not to stay home. Come out and be fake for the moment so it looks better, and maybe another person will come in. It's gonna, it's not confirmation bias, but when the group says it's cool, you think it's cool.
Yeah.
That's what's happening now.
Right.
And that's what I want, because now that the actual it's like the ball's rolling.
I don't really care about George Floyd, but everybody else does, so maybe I should.
So now the ball's rolling on something that's actually important.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, no. Yeah, everybody. We just need the bodies, dog. We just need the numbers. We just need the clicks so that actual change can happen.
You think actual change comes from that?
It already has. It already is happening. As far as like no knocks in Kentucky, I think it's the governor of California changing things. All this stuff we're talking about is starting to happen a little bit, right? If you continue it happens more. If you get these people that were couch warriors last week, but this week they're going to go to meetings, because again, a bunch of people made it cool. Now Amazon has the banner and all the like black struggle movies. I think it's even called like Black Struggle on the thing. I saw it this morning. But they're all categorized to put it in the forefront. So when you're at home, now it's popular. Now you're going to check out. And a percentage of those people, it's really going to affect, because the percentages of those people were mad apathetic or just didn't think there was any, they were hopeless to the change. They were just that's how it is type shit. Yeah. But now like people are actually, they see it, and a percentage of them see it because it's a hashtag cool picture that I'm gonna, like, you see the girls at the protest smiling through their masks, doing selfies about Black Lives, and
for the moment.
And again, like, you take notes as a person. What I do, I'd be like, all right, but I think to myself, that's 3 more people out here of this like 15,000.
Right. If
those people said to themselves, I don't really believe in this. I just want to take a picture. I don't want to seem fake, so I'm not going to go there. There's 5,000 less people. And it's going to look that much smaller. I'd rather those 5,000 people come out and be fake and us look bigger, so that it's part of that movement, part of this movement. And it's just like, it's like a cobra opening up its head, or like any kind of like a peacock. It's not entirely real, but there's some substance to it, and I think it kind of like
I have a hard time
enacts change.
I have a hard time with that, for sure.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's my individual perception of what's happening, and
because again, sorry, that's the last point on top of that. It ain't about like how I feel or you feel about it. It's about the move. It's about everybody's. Is it helping? Is bodies helping? And it is literally why it's helping right now, is because it's popular. It's been the same, and there's nothing changed. It's the same dude dead on this ground.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed, but now it's popular because of bodies.
Right.
That's why it doesn't matter to me if people are being fake about it. You think people really cared entirely about gay people? No, it was popular, bro. And then just go down any fucking, I bet back when Vietnam was a thing and they were doing anti-war protests, at a certain point when they got out of Vietnam, I bet you can find some like Sears and fucking Burger King or Taco, I don't know if there's Taco Bell back then, commercials were just like, we're not for the war, peace and love, guys, because they found out there was a market with the hippies and shit like that, you know?
Right.
It's just, I'll take it because it stopped the war.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about that shit.
Yeah, I guess my whole thing is just holding everybody accountable for shit.
Yeah, so you can do that too. Like I said, take notes, baby.
Yeah.
Take notes. Hey, remember that time you was out at the protest?
At least on an individual level. Like, I'm not going to make people I don't know. But individually, if you can check the people you love to make sure, hey, where exactly are your where are you with this movement? Like, are you here for the right reasons? Do you even understand what we're protesting for? Like,
I think people like you will be the people that create either the non-activist or the activist, because you will, like you're saying, keep him accountable. So if you keep him accountable, then maybe he'll be like, and he'll go to the fucking meetings and he'll like go hard or whatever.
Yeah.
or he'll just like tighten up and then be like, nah, you're right, that's not for me, I need to do this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
So I think it's important. But I think him coming out is also important.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like I think it both ways. I think it's beneficial, at least
with the accountability and the repercussions of it is what I want to see. You know what I mean? Not just for the moment. It's like, because if not, to me, it just becomes selfish. It's the same thing that we kind of talk about. Like, are you running into the store to steal for yourself, or is it because you're really pissed off? You know what I mean? What's the moral fabric here? And honestly, in my opinion too, do you even deserve to be in that store? What are you there for? You know what I mean? I don't know. That's the way I look at it. I guess I'd rather see a poor, underprivileged, somebody that was, dominated. And
you see the guy stealing the Legos. You see that? It's like, is this shot? I think it's Target, and everything's going crazy, right? And there's just a guy sort of just like walking through, and they zoomed in on the shit. And he said like a box of Legos.
It was this moment.
Some white dude with a mask, some box of Legos. Like, I got
Charlamagne made a good one that I was listening to on his podcast. He's like, why doesn't Michael Jordan just take a empty warehouse somewhere and just put mad shoes in there and just let people loot? Like, it's like an exercise.
It's cathartic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got something out of this bitch.
And then with like another one, it's just empty cardboard boxes so they can just burn that shit.
People are resourceful. I seen motherfuckers stop a trade and pull flat screen TV out of.
Dog, all I know is when they stole tanks, I start tripping.
Atlanta,
And they like took it to their neighborhood and like everybody's dancing around it. That's got it. Like, it doesn't even feel real.
It's the resourcefulness of they
There's
gotta ride
no
a tank.
way in hell that's real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know it's real, but it's like, that ain't real. Come on.
It's Atlanta for you.
That's just crazy, man.
Brought it back to the hood.
I want to see that IG.
You got to give love to that energy too. I just stole. I'm gonna bring it back to the hood for everybody.
You kind of do, right?
You got to bring it back to the hood.
You got to somehow respect
You got to
that.
share that with everybody.
I mean, it's insanely stupid, but
Yeah, but those kids in those neighborhoods are always gonna remember that.
kids.
You know what I mean? It's gonna be like, yeah, we took them damn.
Remember that time we took on the military?
We had 2 tanks.
It was like a war. The war of 2020.
Little Bill, little Leo were out here.
A skirmish. We took 2 of the enemy tanks or whatever.
Well, I always say the moral of the story, but I'm gonna start saying, what did I learn from this craziness? And I think what I've learned is that the world is fucked up. And the more people get together and ask questions and go hard for somebody else and not be selfish, the better we are as people.
Get together, don't be selfish. The better we are as people. I think the moral of the story is, see what happens when motherfuckers get together and flex a little muscle. You can get anything done. If we can all get on the same page about some shit,
We can have Louis Vuitton.
we can have
backpack.
whatever the fuck we want.
Everybody can have a Louis.
Let's be sensible about it. We're not trying to all whatever. I'm just saying
Gucci
we can all
shoes.
be on the same level if we just somehow get on the same page. I don't know if it's an app, if it's a person, like a song with an artist or a movie star or a senator.
Nah,
or
we gotta stop with that musician.
dog.
shit,
It can be anybody.
artist shit.
It can be anybody as long as
You
they're
ain't
worth
changing
it.
shit with your song, all right,
You
bro?
can. You can spur change. You may not like completely change shit, but like we were talking about it before. How I don't know if it was you. Protesting does nothing, but like, it does.
Revolutionary music nowadays is corny.
That doesn't mean it can't be awesome in the future.
Shit's mad corny.
Like I said, I don't know how.
Try to write an Imagine.
I don't know
right
how
now.
it'll be done.
Play
but
Imagine while people are riding and see how funny that shit sounds.
If we get on the same
Imagine
page,
all the children.
we can get a lot of shit done, and it's proven. Look at your Amazon fucking Fire Stick right now.
The only song that still rings true is when I
The
Get
goddamn,
up, stand up for your right.
the goddamn bullshit ass NFL apologized for the kneeling shit. If that doesn't tell you what kind of power you have to protest, I don't know.
That was a
what.
half-ass apology.
It doesn't matter, Peens. Are you crazy? How much money and shit they went through to say, nah, fuck that. The military contracts and all of that shit. They literally said "fuck you" to the military.
Yeah, kind of. They'll be back.
Of course they'll be back. Like I said, it may be bullshit, but I'm saying power of protest. Like you get together and do some shit.
Yeah.
And you put pressure on motherfuckers. You can make some change. But I wish that we just had some sort of galvanizing one force to follow. You know what I mean? That actually can like speak for everybody that feels the same way and like organize it and like just get people to be like, yeah, her or him or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Trump can do that if he turns it around. If he turns everything around, he legalizes weed right now and he starts saying, yo, I'm sorry, black people. Would that be okay?
Well, the sad part is if he did something like that or went on some sort of campaign to say all the things we said today and he was just like, you're right. Like if he's the next Amazon, right? And he's just like, he has like the black banner on over, he comes through and he's just fucking like.
He shows up to the Oval
Pro-black.
Office with a Michael Jackson or a Michael Jordan
Let's not get crazy because it can get into a zone. And but the sad part is that you're possibly right. If he flipped his whole thing,
he can remix "I Have a Dream" and really come
some
through.
people, a good majority of people, would be like, "Cool." I was at a meeting, dog. I was at a meeting where the woman said, "We should give Andrew Gillum another chance."
Why?
To be,
I mean, he's
governor.
gay friendly.
Nah, man, when he's passed out on meth in a goddamn.
He likes to party. He's cool with the gay people. If that's not progressive, what is it?
It was meth and it was a prostitute.
That's mad progressive. That's mad. He's chilling with gay people doing drugs.
That had nothing to do with gay. That's not what I said.
Mad libertarian.
Meth, passed out. So, fun, right? Good times.
You can
Totally fine as a person.
You can relate
shouldn't
to
be leading the
somebody
state.
like that.
Shouldn't be leading the
You
state.
can relate to somebody.
Shouldn't
like
be
that.
ahead of the state.
I think you
My
can
guy.
relate to people like that.
Nah. That's sort of like if you take
You
out
can't, you can't.
How
slut
long
shame.
is it for?
Why are you slut shaming the governor for having a good time?
What?
He stimulated the prostitution.
I
economy.
slut shamed him.
Yeah, you slut shamed.
I didn't
him.
say he slept with a bunch of people.
No, that's kind of slut shaming.
I didn't say he slept with a bunch of people. I said he was passed out off of meth.
With some gay dudes.
No, you said gay dudes. I said prostitute.
It was some gay shit.
It was gay.
Okay.
But I didn't say gay. I said prostitute.
Okay.
Okay. Meth. Prostitute. Okay. This guy's supposedly going to be leading the state.
Yeah.
Nah, man. You got other stuff to handle. Like he does. Like he went and took care of his family.
Yo, if
we'll do other people.
If Trump can go play
Trump
golf
can't.
in the middle
Trump
of
can't.
an
He
epidemic,
does. Trump can't. He does. There's been so many articles written.
So politicians ain't. It's not okay for them to have a good time.
You can't do shit like that as a politician. No.
You got a powerful ass job. You need to relax sometimes.
Have a beer.
Suck some dick and hit the meth pipe.
No meth pipe in hotels where cops have to come because you OD'd.
Dick sucking's okay though.
Dick sucking's totally fine.
Okay.
You can suck all the dick you feel like, sir. Enjoy.
I just think a little bit of meth or just drugs. Sprinkle some drugs. Relax. We're too bent up.
Dog, if you can smoke the meth, right, and not pass out and have a heart attack, and then you can kind of do it with your wife, I guess. But, you know, you got kids, so let's not smoke meth. And let's hang out with your wife instead of the prostitute.
You got to give him credit for at least being human. He was being human.
You literally have no choice but to get up and be human.
What if the prostitutes was doing the meth and he was just hanging out with the dick?
He was the one ODing. They called because of him.
He was, oh yeah, that's right.
They got him up off the floor and he was incoherent.
But he was doing the meth. He wasn't just drunk and just like, you know how you...
You're right. He might have been, but...
Sometimes you fuck so hard you get a little like...
Get a little loopy?
Yeah.
Your blood pressure gets low?
It's a lot of nut you just released.
I feel like the meth. Anyway, I wouldn't vote for him, necessarily. You know?
Nah, but I just think that we can't be shaming politicians for being human.
I think if I were to say that he was a bad person...
He's not a bad person.
He's not a bad guy.
Nah.
That'd be shaming him.
He's human.
He's not qualified to be mayor.
Why?
I mean, governor.
If he can still pass legislation and control the deficit and all that, and do the stuff that politicians do. Let him be human. Like this is what's hypocritical about our country.
You can't have a drug
We need people
problem.
that we can identify with in power, not people that are like hypocritical, like Mr. Perfect. This guy's never done meth. He's never sucked dick before. You know what I mean? Like, yo, he sucked dick. He does a little bit of meth sometimes. Like, yo, I can relate to somebody like that.
No.
I don't like meth.
No.
I don't like dick, but it makes me feel comfortable.
First of all, meth, again, dick has nothing to do with it.
Kind of.
It doesn't, though, at all.
It was kind of funny to see him in some Speedos.
That was the escort's, like, photo.
But, yeah, that picture, the way you, like, threw that together, it made it a little funny.
I think that's a bias that some people have that make that funny to them. I think the fact that he was running for governor and then he's in that situation, to me, is more funny than the picture of the guy.
If we as a society would accept that to be okay, it wouldn't matter.
Why is it okay to smoke meth with a prostitute in a
as long as
hotel
you're
when
doing
you got
your
a wife
job,
and
what's
kids at
wrong
home?
with it?
Well, he's got like the wife and kids at home, and then he wasn't doing his job.
Maybe they got an open relationship. It's human.
It is human.
It's human.
But arguably all of that shit's human.
I don't
Everything
like when we do
anybody's
that to our
ever done.
politicians, though. I don't like when we do that to our politicians.
Do what?
Like, try to hold them on it, like, feel surprised, or like, oh my God, what are you doing? Well, you're just human.
Dog, he's supposed to be like, he makes law or is in charge of law.
Who says he can't still do that?
I think the law says he can't do that.
Well, yes.
And technically, he was trying to get to a position where he says he couldn't do that.
But
so that's mad hypocritical. So just off the strength of hypocrisy, I don't want to vote for you.
I'm not saying you have to vote for them. Like, if
Right,
that's your
and I'm not
belief,
shaming him.
You are kind of shaming
No,
him.
I'm not. I'm saying I'm not voting for him.
People do meth every day.
People do meth every day. They're not governor.
People hang out with prostitutes every day.
Can't say those aren't governors.
But it's okay for governors to do that.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
We gotta let people be human.
We should. Not as a governor.
They're gonna be more well-rounded people.
No, I need somebody that isn't on drugs to be in charge of my shit.
If you want to do drugs on the weekend and still do your job during the day,
Sure. Not as a governor. Not as a government official.
nah, that happens all the time, bro.
It does. It shouldn't.
People on Wall Street, people in the military, people
That's
across the board.
That's fine.
Even
Military got a lot to deal with.
Even scientists.
Scientists got a lot of fucking boring ass information and data to go through. So
Yeah,
smoking some meth might help you.
Smoking some meth might help you pass some legislation.
Nah, I don't want you to be a police officer high on meth, pulling me over in a fucking car, and I don't want you to make and enforce laws if you're a goddamn meth addict.
I think if we do enough drugs, you can get rid of all these.
Nah.
Drugs shouldn't. We already had this argument about Flocka's the only drug that.
I want you doing no flocking and pulling me over, trying to figure out what's going on.
I think it's just a taboo that we got to get rid of in society. Got to get rid of those stigmas, bro. It's okay to be human.
I'm down with decriminalizing it. For sure.
And why are we gonna fill the jails for?
Yeah, I'm down with that.
So if you're a politician,
go get some help.
And you got your feet wet with the shit, you can better
go get some help.
You're better able to create legislations to help people
for sure,
instead of throwing them in jail
for sure.
Because you're gonna be sitting at the fucking governor's bench, like, you know what? I suck dick
for sure.
You know what? I hit the meth.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't think so many. Let's free. Maybe not the meth dealers, but the meth addicts.
Maybe.
Shouldn't capitalize on someone's demise.
Maybe. Shouldn't be governor.
All right. Well,
shouldn't be governor. But advisory of some capacity.
Remember that fat Canadian guy that was hitting crack and doing all
Yeah, man. That guy OD'd on camera.
We loved him.
Because he was entertaining, not because he was effective.
No, because we seen his negativity.
Nah.
Promoted, and now we're like, funny. You know what? I can relate to somebody like that.
Not at all. They just did it because it was funny. Because it was a view. It was a like, and he OD'd on camera.
I think more than not, people get ridiculed for just being human instead of us being open-minded to the fact that people are going to get high.
Again, I'm not talking about regular ass people. Not right now, and not today.
I wouldn't vote for him if he was a murderer. But if you like to get high and suck a little dick on the side,
Again, you're making it about dick. I'm not making it about dick.
I'm throwing the dick in there because
You're throwing
it's all a vice.
But it has nothing to do with the situation.
It has to do with being human.
I guess dick does, but I'm not saying that this pertains to this situation.
People have been getting high since the beginning of time.
Yes.
We like to get high.
Yes.
We like to fuck.
Sure.
We like to eat.
Yes.
And if we got something
I don't think
pray
food
to,
had anything.
If we got something to pray to.
Sometimes people like to pray.
Well, that's all part of being human.
Hey, man. If you can't handle it, I don't need you to be mayor. I keep saying mayor, governor.
Well,
yeah.
We just talked 15 minutes on dick and meth, so that'll be the last segment for you guys. It's freshproducefloridamedia@gmail. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and do drugs. Protest.
Black Lives Matter.
Show up Tuesday to City Hall.
Hey.
Police, don't bring riot gear to protest no more. Leave that shit at home.
Orange County, July 1st, 8:30 a.m. City Hall, I believe. The Citizens Review Board.
There you go.
Come check it out.
My name is Fredo Peens.
Chris Thompson.
Peace and love, y'all.
Later.